Due to the social priming of our culture, individuals who do not identify as heterosexual face problems. Because they deviate from the norm, people who identify as gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgendered at the University of Tennessee encounter heterosexual normativity academically and socially.
Just like people being dumb, which I mean that is a problem when people use homosexual slurs to mean, dumb. And even like when people say, "Oh, that is so gay," it's like they mean that's so dumb, or like that's just not something that they want to be associated with, and so they use the term gay, which sort of like demeans it. It's kind of hard to just go out and try and be yourself when you know that people are like automatically judging you. And even sometimes like in a class setting, like I find myself being less vocal and not participating as much as like other students would, just because like I feel like as soon as I open my mouth, people are just gonna start judging me immediately.
Life on people. I'm a bit private actually, so I like to keep my stuff to myself, and contrary to them who are having sex next door and I can hear it, I like to keep my life a little bit more private than that.
I was walking down Cumberland with some friends, and they were a couple, and they were a gay couple, and they were holding hands, and they had some very lewd things yelled at them out of a car. I was in a class where I had to work with some students, and they were saying unkind, stereotypically. They're trying to be stereotypically gay, and they're being very narrow-minded in their portrayals, I guess. And when I told them, gay men can be masculine and gay women can be feminine, it's not a one or the other type thing. They told me I was wrong and I was an idiot.
I think we live in a specific part of the country where there is a definite idealistic stereotype and connotation behind homosexuality. And, there's always the perceived notion that people that are gay are flamboyantly like, hey, I'm gay, hey, look at me, look at me.
At night, or like going to like college parties and things like that, it's sort of more difficult to like make friends or like be in certain crowds that you'll find like around.
I had a responsibility to as a public relations note, to represent the fraternity in a good light. I understand and I know that being gay doesn't necessarily limit you from anything, but public perspective, it would have been a terrible negative connotation if it was found out that there was a gay person not only in a chapter but overseeing a chapter. I think there were more of the challenges were lying with being honest with people, where I was going, what I was doing, who I was seeing, and why I wasn't seeing this person. I think that as you grow and as you live with a group of people in a fraternity, you really start to get this bond and you start to want to understand them a whole lot more, and people didn't understand me very well, sometimes because I distanced myself from people on purpose because I didn't want them getting too close and finding out things about me that they may not want had to have known.
Yeah, some of my friends, they feel like they can't be completely open because they think that they won't be able to be treated as normal.
Further though, in college, and kept it hush-hush, and I think it was out of fear, for how people would react.
Because of the problems that homosexuals have historically faced at the University of Tennessee, certain initiatives have been put in place. Organizations like Lambda and the Outreach Center push back against heterosexual norms.
I've seen a couple of big things happen. I've seen sexual orientation be added into the non-discrimination policy, but at the same time I saw gender identity get rejected. I've seen the Outreach Center open, and I think that's really helped with visibility and with a place that people can go. I wish it would be funded by the university, but I know that even without monetary support from the university, we still get people, legislators in the state, who claim that it's supported by the university and try to get it closed down.
Most definitely. I think a lot of student organizations are really focusing on diversity, and like we're having a lot of programming not only by like UT offices but by students themselves, and like new initiatives like the formation of the Chancellor's Commission for LGBT people. Like I think not only students but the administration as well as like responding to like these.
To start up now.
I mean, I think it's a huge step for UT, like in our pursuit to be like a civil campus, like hostile to none and like welcoming to all. And I think it's really good for UT to recognize that there are LGBT students on campus that may need mentoring where this need hasn't been met before by the Resource Center or by faculty and other students on campus.
The gay culture on campus is definitely working hard to bridge the gap between the common social conception of heterosexual normativity, and I think that as far as what other heterosexual males and females can do to assist in that gap, or assist in bridging that gap, is just being aware of how our normal everyday life and the way we speak can subjugate and further distance those groups.
Teach them diversity on campus and how important diversity is on campus, because sometimes people hear the word diversity and they don't even think, what does that word mean? You know, white, black, is that it? You know, but there's so many more different aspects to it. So I think our students need to be taught on how much we appreciate diversity here on campus and how we can improve upon it.
You don't have to be gay to go to Lambda. You don't have to be gay to go to the Resource Center, and it's not contagious. You're not going to become gay if you go to the Resource Center or if you go to Lambda.
Exactly, and the mentors should be like made aware of like any resources on campus, like the counseling center and things like that, if they feel that they can't handle like an issue, or like putting them in contact with the Student Success Center if it's an academic need or something like that. But again, they're actively recruiting everyone, so the more the merrier, I'm really sure, because this is a need as we've seen on campus.
The older generation might see things like that more harshly as far as being homosexual or something like that, but as far as the younger Tennessee generation, from everybody I know from here, they're cool about it also. So
being an LGBT student and seeing how like certain like UT resources don't reach members of the community, like that kind of goes into heteronormativity on campus and kind of the ways that we look at different aspects and different social groups on campus. And so just seeing that and the inequality that like is not only within student organizations but within the classroom, among faculty members and things of that nature, I just really feel like it's something that needs to change. And if UT is attempting to progress forward and be a truly top 25 school, then it shouldn't be just be in academics and enrollment, but it should be in every facet of UT. Different forms that we fill out where there's no like way for you to identify your sexual orientation, or male or female if someone doesn't like fit into those certain norms or whatever. So I think that the way that like just we present ourselves to students on campus kind of makes some students not feel included in a way, and so I think that speaks to inclusivity as well. And so I know that I'm happy that like we're making initiatives and like gains to really change that on campus.
We take it for granted how easy it is for us to connect or find partners, and I think a lot of times gay people, you know, because of the way our society treats them, they have a harder time connecting with each other and finding partners. So
I mean, I think just like walking around campus at times, yeah, like I've heard people say like faggot and things of that nature, and obviously like, yeah, that was kind of degrading in a way, but at the end of the day, I knew that there was like a network of people that would support me in that way, and so I kind of just like wrote it off. But I think like programs like this are important for educating those members of UT campus that inclusivity is important and that everyone should be respected on campus.
Countering heterosexual norms with these organizations has not resulted in the acceptance of the homosexual community. Hate crimes based on sexual orientation continue to occur and affect the students, faculty, and staff at the University of Tennessee.